Welcome to the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. Whether inside or outside the loop, we are talking everything soccer in Houston. Y'all ready? Let's get it.
Houston, welcome to another episode of the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. My name is Rudy Segura, and I am glad to be back on this beautiful Monday night. I don't know if you're around town. Obviously, you may be listening the next day, but it's lightning. There's thunder out there. Not a lot of rain, but here we are trying to start another week of, obviously here talking about Houston soccer and Houston Dynamo in particular. But I am not alone today. Cristian Putalía is not joining us. He's already been replaced. We fired him, just so you guys know. Not really, but we are joined once again with Madeline Stewart making her return. How are you doing, Madeline?
Hi, I'm good.
Glad to have you back. I know that you debuted last week with us, and look at you. You're already stepping up and taking the precious time that is Cristian Putalía's, and we love Christian. Nothing but love for him. I know he was busy today. Jay Hurtado, welcome. We love Jay Hurtado, by the way. Madeline, he's one of the guys that always listens, and he's in LA. So check this out. And he could easily be a Galaxy fan, a LAFC fan, but he's a big Houston Dynamo fan. And Big Bryce join us, bringing that age, youth fan that we all love so much. But here we are. Welcome to the show, man. We appreciate any comments that you may leave on here. We'll try to do our best to highlight each and every one of you guys. We truly appreciate the feedback that we get, and we do try to do our best to bring that love to you guys as well. But Madeline, let's kind of kick it off, break the ice. Obviously we'll talk Houston Dynamo. Anything in particular since the last time we talked that was fun and exciting in your life happening?
I'm packing for college right now, but okay, wait, I have something. It's like Dynamo and life related. There was one day I was coming home, and there's always like kids on my block who sell popsicles, and I was coming home one day, and one of them had a Dynamo jersey on. And I was like, oh my gosh, like go Dynamo, but I didn't have any cash to like give them anything. So I had just been packing for college. I had a whole bunch of extra Dynamo stuff that, like the hats they give away. I had like 3 hats. I'm never going to wear 3 hats. So I grabbed like some of that stuff and I brought it over to them, and they were like, oh my gosh, wait, I follow you on TikTok. And they messaged me today and they were like, you can come get a free popsicle whenever you want. Like, thank you so much. But yeah, it was fun meeting some nice ones.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I love that you mentioned that because I'm assuming you live out in the suburbs, like most of the guys here in Bayou City Soccer do. And when I lived in the inner loop of 610, you would see shirts more often. And even then, right, it's a stretch because everybody wears Astros, Texans, like some of the bigger sports. But every time I would see somebody, I was like, yes, go Dynamo, And then now that I further being out here where I'm at in Alvin, you really don't see it as much. And when I do, I try to give props or try to talk to them. But at the same time, I don't want to wear them out. It's like, oh man.
I gave them a Bayou City Soccer stickers too. Nice. I had some with me, and I was like, "Yeah, here you guys go." So that was fun.
Yeah. Jay says, "What's up, NRC? Welcome to the show as well. Leave your comments and questions. We'll try to do it." Jay Hurtado says, "Where is my Houston gear?" No Houston gear today. I am excited that La Liga is coming back this weekend, so I had to rep my one and only European club. Even though I try my best, Madeline. I know we got that EPL fantasy soccer going, and I try to. So it's funny. I kind of used to root for Manchester United just because of my friends did, and it was at the time that obviously they were good. Mm-hmm. But eventually, I wasn't as close to it, and I tried to get back into the EPL because everybody talks EPL, right? That whenever you're around soccer people, and the only team that I could find myself rooting for that wasn't it would have been easy to go like a Chelsea or a Man City. Just when you try to start over, you try to pick a top team, right? And I didn't want to do that. So my long shot was West Ham United, and the only reason why is because it has a history of Mexican players being in it.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's true.
you had Chicharito, obviously, you had Franco, Guille Franco was like a striker back in the early 2000s. You have Pablo Barrera. Right now, they have a guy named Edson Alvarez who
Yes.
he's no shrub. Obviously, he captains the national team right now, and so with that, I try to pull. I am trying to follow. I did not get to watch them lose the first game against Sunderland, so I'm not super disappointed even though went out 3-0. I was out of town, but anyways, yeah, it's funny, right? Because I try to do my best to keep up. I try to do my best, and you see how we love soccer. We love soccer. I think it's
Yes.
too much. So I'm also kind of excited for football to kind of kick something different, a different sport to watch.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. But yeah, I was out of town. Funny enough, I don't know if you I know you may follow me on social media, but
Oh,
we
yes, I saw that. I
yes.
was I was fangirl. I love Bad Bunny.
Yeah, so it's funny. Like I think I love music. I mean I've always loved music, but I hate the concept of concerts. I know
Oh,
it
my
sounds
dad
weird,
does too.
and I think it's just because some of the concerts I've been to, it's either really tiny events, and I don't know, maybe claustrophobic, too many people in front of you. So I've never been like a huge fan, and it's funny to mention that because I was telling my wife, I'm like, obviously gone to the Houston Rodeo multiple times for concerts, and it's a completely different vibe there because it's such a huge venue and the music sounds terrible. So I was like, man, this just ruins it for me. But early in the year, when they announced that Bad Bunny was going to be, in Puerto Rico doing like a residency, my wife was like, let's go, like let's not go anywhere except for this trip, like for my birthday. And I was kind of like hesitant, but anyways, yeah, we went for like a 2.5 day basically trip,
Yeah.
and I was blown away. Like, I mean, it was a fantastic show, and yeah, I'm also a big Bad Bunny fan, so it was worth the trip for sure. I mean, obviously, like I have two little kids. I stay with my parents, and but the trip itself was nice. So yeah, I don't know if I'll do it again. To be honest, I don't know if I'm there yet, but it did leave a really good taste in my mouth, like of
Good.
maybe doing it again because obviously apart from the music being good and like music that right now you hear pretty often, it was a good show, like lots of pyro, lots of yeah, he just did a really fantastic job.
I wouldn't
So
expect anything less from Bad
yeah,
Bunny. I
and
don't
I
understand any of his music, but I listen to it on repeat. My friends get sick of it. They're like, "You don't understand any of it." And I'm like, "I don't care. I love
right,
it."
it's music that just like has you like bopping your head like the whole
Yes.
time. It makes you feel good, like whatever it says. Trust me, it's in Spanish, and I don't even understand half of that because the dialect or the different words that they use in Puerto Rico is completely different than I'm used to. So half of the time I have to Google what the heck some things mean. But I'm with you. It's some good music. But
Yes.
we made it back in time to catch all the games since all the games were perfectly on Sunday. So it's not like we really, I didn't miss out. Usually I'm the guy trying to post every content that we do and graphics and all that stuff. I was a downer with graphics. I was busier than I expected. I didn't watch at all Dynamo 2 live, so I was kind of bummed out. But what can we do, right? We try to
Yeah.
do our best. We try to do our best. Um, but before we go any further, Madeline, let me tell the people how they can connect with us, and I'll put a banner here for everybody watching us live. But you can catch all our content. Obviously, check out the BayouCitySoccer.net website for all our articles and pretty much anything else that is there. It'll take you to our social media platforms like Instagram, X, YouTube. You can catch all the interviews, pregame, postgame with the coaches for both Houston Dynamo, Houston Dynamo Dash. Every now and then we get Houston Dynamo 2, and everything in between. We try to do our best. And I guess, Madeline, we're going to put you back to work this weekend since it's a
True.
home game.
Oh my gosh, my
So,
dog's making an appearance here.
you good. Uh, yeah, so absolutely. We're going to be busy once more. And I was actually talking to David, who David is my brother in law that helps us out with Movimiento Naranja and the Spanish recaps, and it wasn't because he told me, but he's like, dude, Friday Dynamo 2 plays at home, Saturday
Yeah.
Dynamo at home, and then the Dash are at home. So
Yes.
once again, very busy. We can
I
try to make all of
know.
them.
I move in on Thursday, and I was like, my first weekend of college is all gonna be Dynamo, and throughout that, I don't care. And then the the women's team, they play. I have like an event with the Dynamo, like a season ticket thing, and it ends at 4, and then soccer plays at 6. So lots of
Yeah.
soccer.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be at that block party as well. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that I'll be there. So if I'm there, I'll meet you up.
Yes.
I may take my kids with me. But I love that you. Well, first of all, happy that you are a Cougar yourself. I tell people I went to that school for a year and a half. I didn't graduate from there, but I was there. I still claim it, right? But I was gonna say, yeah. Thanks for the shout out there because if you guys follow along every, our website and our social medias, you'll notice that our Jefe, El Jefe, Dustin Richardson has been talking to everybody in town when it comes to soccer. Obviously, he talked to U of H women's soccer coach and a player. I can't think of her. I think it was her name is Charlotte Richardson.
Yes,
I
Richard.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, I was telling him that was his cousin. They're not related,
Yeah.
of course, but and so he talked to them. He talked to the Houston Christian University, men's and women's, and I mean we're trying to do our best to get as much information out there, and that kind of excites me because I kind of want to go and at least go to one game, right, for each of the teams. So
Yeah. They
uh,
play Texas. UH plays UT. So that'll
oh,
be
nice.
a good game.
Yeah, that's a good, and that's on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, season starts for all the soccer teams here locally, and again, we're excited. There's so many, right? If we try to break it down to like academies and all kinds of stuff, there's way too much. But we try our best to give you as much information so you go ahead and enjoy and support the teams around town for sure. And I guess I already finished where you guys can follow us. But just a shout out to obviously our friends as well, to Elote Bravos for always, they're at the stadium. You can go get yourself a corn in a cup, aguas frescas, all that good stuff. They do a great job of sponsoring our FanDuel segments here, which as the season starts getting a little longer, now that we have a week, for a game, not every other 2, 3 days. We may have to bring it back. So shout out to them. Make sure you check them out this weekend. You have an opportunity on Saturday and Sunday to make it out and get yourself an elote. Our friends obviously at Ugly Guppy, they also do a really good job providing us with all the gear that we get to wear as we cover the teams that you guys love. And lastly, but not least, our friends at We Got Soccer, which we have big news, Madeline. We will be there next Monday once more. This would be our second time streaming. There's a lot of things you talk about the block party. Obviously, that's busy time for the Dynamo. The Dash play on Sunday, but we're trying to see if we can get a personality that represents the Houston Dynamo FC. To go out there, meet us out there, and that way, we can get quite a few of you guys that are listening, and follow along Bayou City, and maybe get pictures, get autographs with.
Yeah, I'll sign stuff. I'm gonna sign stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll get the autographs.
Christian will be there. He does charge $5 per picture. So if you get a blurry one, too bad. You're gonna have to pay another $5 for another one. But no, we'll be excited to be out there. It's a really good place. I know that you went. Did you went to that one, Madeline?
Yeah, I did. I'm actually, my plan is to buy the new Man City kit that when I'm there, get Bernardo Silva on the back.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. I've liked some of the the away kids and some of the third kids that Man City has. Some of the
Not
colors.
City's third kit this year.
This was not good, but
Uh-uh.
they tend to do like obviously like either a purple or
Yeah,
like
I bought
a
last year's
yellow.
third
Was it a
kit.
yellow
Yeah.
or like highlighter color? They've done some
Yeah, that
weird
was their
colors.
second one last. This year,
Yeah.
oh, it has like water dripping down. It's so bad. Don't even look at it. It
It's
will
like
like
don't.
blind your eyes.
Yeah,
Don't look at it.
I bet. I agree with you. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Madeline, I promised you to try to do a quick show. We're already 15 minutes in. Look how time flies. But we'll get right to it to this weekend. Obviously, joining the Bayou City Soccer Podcast and starting with the Dynamo news of the week would be the match against Vancouver. 1-1 draw for the Dynamo here. We put your favorite players picture
My
on here,
favorite
Madeline.
play. I could go on a whole 10-minute thing about my favorite play. I ran circles. I lost my mind when he scored that. You don't understand. It's been hard for us Artur fans this season. He's been getting a lot of hate as captain. So to
Yeah.
see that, I loved it.
Yeah, honestly, here we question a lot of like the type of leader that he is. I mean, we know that there's different types of leaderships in general. He struggled, and you can tell that the last month and a half,
Yeah.
I would say like right before Leagues Cup, you saw a different Arthur, a guy that was more vocal, a guy obviously he started to I would say that you would see him frustrated with a lot of the mistakes that were happening, and that's when you would see him agitated. That's when you see him kind of be a little louder, something
Yeah.
kind of not, I wouldn't say necessarily out of character from him, but man, he just, there's something different about him. And the team is starting to kind of find its place. He was not getting as stretched as much as
That's
he
true.
was being doing in the beginning. And I mean, what a goal. I mean,
Oh,
fantastic goal from Arthur. And we'll get into the highlights here momentarily. But just to mention, obviously, stoppage time equalizer by him. Um, the starting lineup was an interesting one. I would say not bad at all. It was good to see Carlos Antonio kind of get the start over Barlow and Femi. To me, he still looked he looked good. You
hmm
know, he was he perfect? Not at all. He looks rusty still. But before we get too far in there, what did you think about his debut as a starter, Madeline?
I liked it. I really think, yeah, I think what you say, he's just rusty. I think he's going to be better. I was interested with Pablo starting over. I thought Barlow should have started, but
Okay.
I know Manny doesn't like Barlow at all, and so, but I like him. I think he's better. Ortiz bothers me because he feels like a deer in headlights sometimes. Like he can't find his feet. He's playing with two left feet. Like I don't quite love Ortiz. So I think Bartlow over Ortiz, but I'm not Ben. I've never coached an away game in Seattle, you know?
No,
Um,
I agree with you though, because when it comes to Ortiz, I mean this game was a little bit different because I feel he did some decent stuff to keep the team obviously in play. But what you're saying about a deer in a headlight, I 1,000% agree. Sometimes you don't know. He gets lost. He doesn't understand when he needs to clear the ball. He doesn't understand when he needs to do a short pass, and that definitely gets in the way, Madeline.
yeah, I don't really see his contract going further than this loan.
Well, especially with rumors we're hearing, of course,
Yeah,
and we'll touch on that a little bit towards the back of the show. But yeah, and Barlow, I think Barlow's so hit and miss. My
yeah,
thing with him is just the fact that this year is when he should have kind of stepped up and taken the reins. He's been healthy, so it's not a matter about health, right? Because in the past we've seen him like pick up injuries, whether it be concussions, whether it be his I think his hamstring gave him a lot of problems in one of the past years, but it hasn't been it. It's just the fact that the guy can't step up and take that open spot
yeah.
left by Mikhail Zvinchenko being hurt. So unfortunately for him, that just hasn't been it. But we do have the highlights. Let me go ahead and see if I can play them. You can keep talking as you please as I set this up.
Yeah, I think once Svianchenko's back, I think that will be good. I think Antonio and Svianchenko will be a good partnership. But yes, getting Eric back for sure. But
Yeah, I think you have to. I think it's definitely noticeable when you don't have Spiachenko as your starter, and there's age issues there as well. So there's a lot of questions on the center position that for the last 3-4 years hadn't really been questions, right? So
Yeah.
a little unfortunate on that. But let me go ahead and see if I can share my screen to play, and hopefully, can you see what I'm
Yeah.
looking at?
Yeah.
All
I
right,
can.
cool. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. It doesn't really matter. We can kind of just go through it. But obviously, Vancouver, tough place to play. We know how last week we talked about that right there was a really bad foul by Dorsey to give that
Yes.
away so early on. He
And
was,
literally the minute before it, I was like, oh, well, like Vancouver's had some chances, but we're not down yet. And then he goes and does that. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
it's such
I
a lazy
jinxed it.
foul. Like he already beat you. There's more, definitely more risk to do it, and he still decides to go ahead and hit him. Like it made no sense. And Ben White does a really good job of finishing. I mean, this guy's the last 2-3 years has been one of the best strikers in MLS. And sadly for him, he doesn't really get the respect he really deserves. He's a really good
Yeah.
player.
I heard a fan say if Ponce is worth 8 million, then Ben's got to be worth 30 million with that performance. Ben had a good performance.
Yeah, he's solid, and you feel for him because, as I mentioned, like he went to the Gold Cup and didn't play, and there were some guys that he could easily played over him, and it was just unfortunate that he's not getting. You know who he reminds me of? I don't know if you remember, and now I'm blanking on the guy's name, but the guy from San Jose, the Wondolowski, he used to play for the Dynamo. Anyways, I mean, obviously you look at the stats, and he's like top three, or if not top, like number one on the all-time
No,
scoring
is
list.
that guy Nelson? Well, whoever seven, they were
Yeah,
giving the
Nelson.
Dynamo a headache. He
Yeah,
was and that
yeah,
miss, I almost sent to the group chat. I was like, if I were a Vancouver fan and I saw that miss, I would have been pissed because I don't know how they didn't finish that. Two guys forward, like they had it.
yeah.
We got
That's
lucky. Oh, look at
amazing.
Bond,
Yeah,
amazing.
I couldn't tell if Bond touched that or if just
I
hit
didn't
the.
either, but
Yeah, I
he got
couldn't
up
tell.
fast.
Yeah, he got off fast. It looked like it hit the post, but you couldn't really tell if he actually made contact. That was a fantastic save, the first one. But yeah, it was
I
hard to
don't
tell.
know.
It's hard to tell. And then obviously Dynamo going 1-0 at halftime. Vancouver just was relentless. They're right there, like perfect example. How long did it take Ortiz to clear that ball, right?
Yeah.
So
And I think I watched that live, and I was like, what is he doing there?
I'm gonna
But
stop it here real fast. This is great stuff because for the league itself, I hate the fact that it's still mentioned as like a retirement league, and this high quality players come and maybe in Thomas Mueller's case, I think it would be closer to other elite players have come in and to kind of be more on that retirement league aspect, whether it be Rodrigo De Paul coming in, obviously very talented, Ricky Poo. There's a bunch
still,
of exactly. They have a lot to play, but Thomas Mueller, I think he's a notch from older player, but the guy, I mean, his talent is just unmatched. And the hype for this game here was a good one for the Dynamo to kind of build on because they expected a sold out crowd, knowing that Mueller was likely going to see minutes, right? And so we have to be honest. We have to look, inside and understand that the Dynamo players go to the stadium at Sharon Stadium usually pretty empty. And if you're a professional, you want to play in the biggest stages, you want to see the biggest crowd. So one thing that Ben mentioned after the game was that, right? That
yeah,
when you see a big crowd, it doesn't matter it helps the players. Whether you're home and away, it helps you. Um, but yeah, I stopped it there because obviously he comes in, he scores his goal, obviously gets called back for offside. But to me, it was still impressive that, he's there. He creates this commotion. Obviously, everybody believes that he just scored the 2-0
Yeah.
to kill off the Dynamo in the 60th minute. I
And
mean,
yeah, I mean, something about him is that I think it's impressive what he's doing for the league in that sense that Messi necessarily wasn't. Like, he seems happy to be there.
mhm.
Messi, I don't know that we always got that. I feel like it was more, he gets whatever percentage from Apple, he gets whatever, like, he get a club after or part of a club
Yeah,
after?
yeah,
Yeah. He gets all of this stuff. Mueller, it feels like he's happy to be there. He wants to interact with the fans. He's doing all of this stuff for Apple. I think, like, in the league sense, he's doing good. He's doing better than what the other players that have been brought in were doing. And, like, in his post game interview, he seemed tired and a little annoyed that he was doing all of it. But he did it all happily, and I don't think Messi necessarily did that. Now, obviously, All-Star game, like, Mueller is when I can see showing up to the All-Star game.
right.
Messi never gonna show up. So
No.
MLS can get over their butt with that one. He's never gonna show up. He'll sit out the suspension. They're not getting him to that game. But Mueller, I feel like he's happy that he wants to lift the league. So I was happy with that.
Yeah, and I agree with the Messi thing, but I also see that Messi just gets stretched to do everything. And it's also not fair in that case. I think he does need some rest. But when it comes to like, hey, I'm gonna sit out a game, and I mean, we remember the first year he was here, and he didn't show up for a game, and people were going bananas. So
Yeah.
every time that they change the venue, you have a match against Cincinnati or Columbus, and they're playing at Cleveland Brown Stadium. You expect him to show up, right?
Yeah.
If Tigres played Miami here at NRG, you kind of expect him to show up. He didn't, right?
Yeah.
So stuff like that, but I mean, the guy's still human. He's 36, 38 years old. Like, they need to give him a little bit of break because, yeah, it gets to a point that he can't be the face of the MLS because his time is it's soon to run out. And if players like Mueller that are very talented and are looking for a new adventure because he had never left Bayern Munich, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and so stuff like that, I think needs to definitely be taken into consideration, as you mentioned. I totally agree with that. I stopped the last clip just because it was a really good clip.
Yeah, let's see it.
As we talked about the captain scoring here. So let me see real fast. Okay, that's still showing the offside call, but Anali gets a ball out wide by McGlynn. He does a really good job of dribbling around his defender. He beats him, just pure speed. Gives it to Bossy. Bossy passes it back, and
Boom.
That's a rip. I mean, that's a laser shot. And there's a lot of people there. I mean, for it to not hit anybody.
Yeah, because it went over, and Mueller was there. I saw a picture of, like, the shot going over Mueller's calf, I think. So, and then people were complaining about Mueller being in the wrong position.
Yeah.
God, that's my captain.
Yeah. And see, this is what I've been saying about Anali. I like Anali. I think he's one of the most talented players we have on the wings. But I don't know if he's 90-minute ready. I think he does much better coming out on, out as a there's Mueller. Yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah. I mean, he hit that. That ball didn't even move.
See what goes over Mueller's cap.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that ball just went straight. Like, there is nothing. And then here, there's a couple opportunities. Another shot. And then towards the end, Brooklyn Rain gets a second yellow here.
Okay, I didn't watch that. Let me see what happens here. Because Ben was like, if he was standing up for himself, it's not even going to show. If he was standing up for himself, that's one thing. But if not.
No. So, yeah, what happened with that one, and let me go ahead and get it up. Yeah, so what happened with the Brooklyn one, to me, it initially looked like a foul from the Vancouver guy because he kind of just would look. He didn't even look for the ball. He just went in a straight smash against Brooklyn. But it was shoulder to shoulder. Like, it wasn't too far back. So, to an extent, it was a clean foul. And Brooklyn just got mad. The ball lands in front of him. He just tossed it. And, I mean, that's going to be yellow every time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was close. I mean, at full speed, it looked like it could have been a foul in Vancouver. But they were gonna go back and watch it and like super 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 slow mo and notice that it was shoulder.
Yeah, but I think a positive for Brooklyn was Felipe goes out and they drop Brooklyn back to left back, and he held his ground for however many minutes it was. I think it was, I don't know how many actually, but he held his ground back there, and I think that was good from him. But
Yeah,
when Felipe went down, I don't know
it
when they
looked like Felipe got out. I'm looking at the thing. He left in the 82nd.
Okay,
So
so
obviously
that's good
there.
minutes for
Yeah,
Brooklyn in that position. But when Felipe went down, I don't know if the other fans heard this. I swear there was a second mic next to Ben because all I heard was Felipe up over like the whole crowd. Like Ben was on. He was so loud. Like I've never heard him that loud. Like okay, I've heard him a little bit, but I've heard him like loud and clear loud. So and
yeah.
then, of course, Felipe goes down, and then backline issues. Yet again, how many times have we run into that this
Yet
season?
again, but fire Ben. Just fire him out of line.
Been out.
Yeah, it's his thing, right? But no, it's unfortunate that Andrade went down. Hopefully, it's not something that will kick him out for this game or games. After that. I don't know who just joined. Someone joined us. Okay. Anyways, anyway, sorry about that. But yeah, the it's funny enough because you realize that yeah, your your defensive line, you already thought that it was ready to go, in the sense of you were finally getting guys to play together, building some chemistry, whether they're good defenders or not. Andrade being one of them that's always kind of in question. You lose them, and you barely are giving time. And they talked about the limit, the time I guess, and limits that they were doing for I believe it was Carlos
Yeah.
and Carlos Antonio and Ponce, right? Those are the
Yeah.
two guys that have been mentioned, kind of being in flex. They're counting their minutes basically, and so Carlos, to me, he looked very good. I mean, he wasn't in the beginning, right? I mean, he was composed, he was calm on the ball, he was able to pass. Eventually, as he kept playing on, you kept seeing fatigue, and it's normal for a guy that an older veteran player that at the end of the day hasn't really played much in the last 2 years because of injuries, because of playing in different teams. But you can definitely see that he has what the Dynamo need, right? He has a lot of what that Sviatchenko provided, right? That experience, and I mean he's been a captain everywhere he goes. He tends to be a captain, and we know he's very good. But people are talking about it, obviously on Daniel Cordes. Yeah, of course he would be over Femi, over Ortiz. Madeline agreed. I mean,
Yeah.
she even sees Barlow playing over Ortiz as well. And it's just trying to figure out who you can play and create that chemistry and that pairing. And it doesn't happen for whatever reason, as you mentioned, injuries or why not. It just keeps having issues. But here's the stats. Obviously, very close game. What continues to impress is, I mean, the Dynamo are creating shots, right? I mean, are they having the biggest opportunities? No, but they're always there. They're pushing. They're. You look at their numbers, and it's not like they're playing bad. Madeline, I don't know if you have anything that you want to add to that.
No, I go back to I think it was a couple of press conferences ago. Ben was like, "We can get the ball in the box, we can make the shots, but we can't get." It's like he was like, "We can't get the head to the ball to the net or the foot to the ball to the net." It was like a weird quote, and I remembered it because it was funny. But I mean, that's reality is that they can't. They can get it in the box. They can get it even outside the box. They can take the shots, and they're going everywhere but in. And honestly, it's been like that all season. It's like they can't finish like constantly. They can't finish the shots, which is where people have the argument with Ponce. Oh, Ponce's not getting anything in. Ponce's not getting service. And I'm honestly not the biggest Ponce fan to begin with.
Yeah.
But like it just isn't that his job? Like I looked at his stats. His stats look a little better than I thought they did, so I'll give him credit there. But someone there has to score a goal, and it's
Right.
not happening.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think Ponce, he has everything that I think Ben wants on a striker, right? Something that we saw from even the good old days with and I'm blanking on it, Corey Bear,
Corey, Aaron,
right?
yep.
A guy that if you really look at his numbers, I wasn't gonna score more than 6 goals a year, right? It was just that was the history he had. But it was a guy that was there to do the dirty work, to do the pressing, the counters, like everything else. And I think Ponce does a lot of that. But we're still in the same boat of there's not really a creative player that can do the very important stuff, which to me is take on the defenders, right? Abasi, Kovalchik, they're good guys that play attacking roles, but they don't have that special trait that you really need to have when it comes to an attacker, right? Maybe what we've seen like players like Lucho Acosta do in the
What
past.
about Dwayne? Do you think Dwayne gets up there?
I think, yeah. So Dwayne, it's an interesting one because I feel that he can definitely play a bunch of different positions, and I think he can do them well. But I still don't know if he has that it factor as like your creative 10,
Yeah.
right? Um, because same thing, I feel like Coco. If we look at back at like maybe what they were trying to do with Coco, I think Coco got better as time went along. You could tell that he was definitely not comfortable playing higher up the field, but
Yeah.
he didn't really have like that flair that you kind of expect a guy to have and kind of have that vision to drive the ball to an open guy, even if there's five guys in front of him. And so I think that's really what's happening. I think they just need to find a player that can do that. And I don't know if it's happening this season. We don't know. I mean, we'll talk about that. But let's go ahead and finish off here with the letdown and the send down and the letdown. I'll let you go first. Feel
Oh
free to.
boy, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Okay, okay, all right, fine. I'll go first. Yeah, I shouldn't have put you on the spot. As far as the standout, I think Artur, hands
Yeah.
down, is the guy. I mean, apart from the goal, right? I think he really had a solid game. We talked about just the way that in the past he was being stretched and just being pulled apart, and the gaps that were being created when he was taken off the center of the field was just really hurting the team. And slowly but surely, he's finding his voice. He's finding that standard of play and pushing his players. And as the captain, I mean, you want that. And so by far, I think he was the best player last night against Vancouver. And as far as the letdown, I think I would probably have to go. Oh, man, this was tough because I don't want to say Reigns because of the red card or anything like that. Because you look at his like if you're looking at ratings, right? That's like Full Mob does. I think he's probably the lowest one in there. But I feel that he was everywhere. He was like just, uh, and it wasn't like he was just running in circles. I mean, he was out there
Yeah.
really putting like the work and had some really good actions
Yes.
throughout the game. So I would say maybe Jack McGlynn. And it happens that sometimes he just disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Jay Hurtado, you say what do we say about Jack? Yeah, I think honestly, I think Jack was probably the guy that just kind of disappears. And he was there to get the ball every now and then to get a couple touches, but there was nothing really exciting that he did. And at this rate, we have that he has a very high expectation
Yeah.
whenever we go about doing it. Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about that last week that Jack disappears in the games until it's a set piece time, and even a couple of his some of his set pieces were so off. Like I don't know what he was doing in those set pieces. Like I think one he just completely went to the other corner, and I was like, "What is that?" Like I think it was a free kick, not even close to goal, no goal service, nothing, just completely out. And I was like, "Okay, Jack." He just seems, I mean, I'm going to say, I feel like he was good up until Gold Cup. I think Gold Cup, he lost some confidence. If I'm being honest, I think not getting playing time. And I was at Glenn Davis's show the other day, and he
Yeah.
said something, and it was kind of along the lines of like, yeah, I thought I was going to get more minutes. And then even on the Apple podcast, they were like, he started in the friendlies. He didn't start a competition, meaning Pochettino doesn't trust him to start in Gold Cup competition. And so I think he lost confidence with Gold Cup, because since Gold Cup, he just hasn't been the player he was, honestly. Like he was taking shots outside the box. He was doing what he needed to do before Gold Cup, and he just hasn't quite made it yet since Gold Cup.
Yeah, and in this match he had 3 shots. I know that Hurtado mentions at least he's taken some shots. That's true. He takes shots, but I feel that at this point, we have seen how good he could be. Obviously, not at his prime per se. And by the way, shout out to Christian Putelias because he's listening, I suppose, wherever he's at. Told me to check my mic. So, Madeline, you probably hear me a little bit crisp now. I fixed the setting. I forgot I unplugged it. But, yeah, it goes to the point that I think just the expectation is much higher for Jack because we know what he is capable of doing. And so whenever he gets lost, and Joe is listening as well, Joey, and said that he was getting doubled and triple team at times. So it was going to be difficult for him to obviously produce anything. But it's just one of those, right? I mean, they're playing one of the best teams in the West. Yes, Dustin corrected me by saying they're in 3rd place. Before the week started, they were in 1st place. So give me a little bit of a break. There were some games on Saturday night. But they're still a top team, and I think they're just getting better with the addition of Mueller. Did Standout stays the same for you, Artur? Maybe you're
always Artur. I love the captain,
especially because we do have that. He did make the team of the week as well, so shout out to him. Yes. What about your letdown then?
I gotta say Griffin, because what was that foul? Like, that foul set the pace for the game, and they were having to come back from the 5th or the 6th minute, whenever Ben scored, the 6th minute. It was a comeback from then, when maybe it didn't have to be. Maybe we could have had that they never scored. Maybe the defensive line was great, Bond was great, it stayed the same, and without that penalty and Artur still scores the goal, we walk away with 3 points. So I think it's got to be Griffin. He set the tone, and it wasn't a great one. And it almost reminded me of, he did that last season against Dallas, I think. It was like a 4th minute red card, and it set the game, and it was Dynamo was supposed to win that game. I was so annoyed because everyone was saying Dynamo could beat that game, and then they go and lose. I think it was like 4-1 or something. Yeah. And it started with the Griffin red card in like early minutes.
Yeah, I agree. Joe, I think Joey's in here. Joey, are you gonna talk? Can you hear me? Let me see. Let me see if I can add him. He's not. His camera's not on. Joey, can you hear us? You want to talk or no? All right. We'll see. He's still playing the mute game, but yeah. Griffin has been so weird this season, and he has taken 2023 was his best year. He's one of the guys that's been here the longest with the Dynamo. I think he got here like in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I think he got here with Tav Ramos was still the coach, and that's been a minute. Yeah. And so, it to me is just a matter of the fact that sometimes I feel like he just struggles to get his psyche right, and it's hard to see what's kind of keeping that. And people bring it as like, well, it's because Ben lost the locker room.
Oh, Lord.
There's no evidence of that. There's none of that. So we get the opportunity to cover the teams. Madeline, this. We get to talk to the coaches. We get to talk to the players. And there's no evidence of that being the case. And there's just bad seasons, right? You go through bad seasons that things are not going your way. But for people to just assume, right, fans to assume that, it's because the locker room has lost. The players are not playing for him. Artur scored the banger, and the first thing he does is runs to the bench.
Yep.
You see them. I think Ben is the coach. He's a player's coach for sure. He's always going to fight for his players, whether they did good or wrong. I mean, even as far as when Hector Herrera spit at the referee,
Lord,
he was still
he stood by him.
Yeah, well, he still had he still had to look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we asked about it, he just like, I still have to see what happened. He wasn't just gonna right away. It's good and bad for sure, but I feel that Ben is a guy that his players really buy into what he's trying to do, and I just don't see that. I don't see that being the case here. But and again, I mean, if you know, I'm sure a bunch of you guys listening on here probably disagree with us, and that's fine. You know, I would love to hear some sources, right? Or show me where it's happened. Show me where you don't see the team kind of rallying together, especially in the last few matches when the guys have like put everything on the line. I just don't see it.
Yep.
Don't see it, Madeline.
I don't either. Like, they stand by each other. I think I'm gonna recommend people should, if they have Snapchat, they should add a meme bossy on Snapchat. That's a new source of Dynamo that I've gotten. And he shows some behind the scenes, and that team, they are still together. So there's my source that they're together, is a me and Bossy Snapchat. And I won't get it. Like, look at their comments. Look at how they comment on each other's posts. Like, they're still together. They're not like, and a bad seasons happen, and they're going to blame Pat, they're going to blame Ted, they're going to blame Ben. But did anyone expect, they've already explained the Mikael. They thought they had passed the European window. Mikael wasn't leaving. And then the injuries. Who was going to expect the injuries to happen? Do you want us to have 5 top-tier center backs on the bench ready for if an injury happens? No, that's not realistic. We have a salary cap. Yeah. So, like,
you should have known. You should have known injuries were going to happen.
Like, come on, guys.
Madeline, before we're done with the Vancouver talk, but Joey, I see you in here. Looks like your camera is working. We'll get you in here and let us know why Ben should be out at this rate, Joey.
No, I'm kidding. Ben's not out. Ben is daddy. I love Dad. Y'all got me for 5 minutes. So let's see. Vancouver game. Ben set up the team really well. I thought the shape was fantastic. I thought the Kovalchuk pick in the midfield was an absolute genius play. Kovalchuk had a really good game. Let's see. I thought letdown Linger was really poor in this game. I thought he did absolutely nothing.
He got a good haircut, though.
Yeah,
he did get a good haircut. But overall, just not a good game from Linger at all. I'm kind of worried about him. He's making me worried. He's not playing well. I'll probably sit him for Bossy next week because Bossy came off the bench and was really good.
Yeah, he finally really looked better. Good. Yeah, I agree with that. So okay, let's asking. I guess before you go, just any comments you may have about players maybe not having trust in Ben anymore, or just as a coach. Maybe you're an Arsenal fan. You're an Arsenal fan. You've been through some weird changes in your life there. What are some telltale signs, and how come the Dynamo have it or don't have it at this rate?
Well, I mean, the biggest sign when the team isn't fighting for the coach is when they kind of mope around and look like they don't care. And that's not this Dynamo team. That's not. They put in effort. You look at Artur, you look at Reigns, Kovalchuk, Bossy, all these guys are putting in a shift. Dorsey's putting in a shift every week. It's not a lack of they're not losing the tactical battle or the effort battle in any of these games. They're losing the talent battle. That's the issue. And that's been the issue all season, especially at the center back position and some of the attacking areas as well.
Yeah, I agree. The quality just hasn't been there, as Madeline mentioned. I mean, you lose 5 starters and you don't have anybody to back them up. But, I mean, there's a salary cap for a reason. You can't be a Real Madrid and have 22, 23 players that can start any place. So, Joey, thanks again for joining us.
Of course.
Y'all keep up with Joey, man. Once he hits it big and he's starting recording all kinds of albums, he's gonna forget about us probably, but we'll be there, Joey.
I'll never forget about the Dynamo and you guys. Yeah, I got work now, so.
All right, brother.
Both jobs today and bad practice. So,
there you go. See, he stays hustling. All right, Joey. Well, hopefully you'll get to join us for a whole episode in the future, brother.
Should be soon, I think.
Looking forward to it,
maybe
man.
next week. I hope so. We'll see.
All right.
All right, peace out, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. A lot true to what he's saying. Wouldn't you agree, Madeline?
Yeah. I mean, this team fights. There's fight. I would say a player who I've seen the camera on who does halfway mope around on the field is Jack. Jack starts to feel sorry for himself. And you can see it, and the camera zooms in on it, and you can see in his eyes. He feels sorry for himself. It's not like he's pissed off and he's like, oh, I made a bad shot, I'm going to keep going. It's like, and I'm like, Jack, come on, get it together, man. You can do that. Like half of the Dynamo supporters think Jack is like the GOAT. They think Jack is the greatest of all time. Use that. Like, I wish one day he would stop for the fans out back, because a lot of them would hype him up, would give him that energy. I think he needs. I think he may have gotten a little bit when he went to Glenn Davis this week.
Bingo by Jeff.
Yep.
Jack's getting
his own head. Yes, and I'm gonna go back to Gold Cup. I think it comes from Gold Cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was it was kind of rough for him, because obviously he was getting a lot of minutes. You know, he started playing before the Gold Cup, right? The couple friendlies that were there for the U.S. He gets in the Gold Cup, and his minutes just started diminishing to the fact that he gives 10 minutes towards the end of the final against Mexico, and he could have done more, but it's like he getting in his head because he lost trust. Or I guess maybe the coach lost trust in him. And now that he has the opportunity, what is Ben going to do? He's not going to not start him. He's not going to not bench him, right? He's not going to pull him out anytime, even though he's struggling. I mean, he believes in Jack, but Jack has to believe in himself as well.
Yes.
Great. So, man, we're doing good on time so far, Madeline. Let's go ahead and finish it off with the game coming up here this weekend. Sharing your Stadium, August 23rd, we have a Houston Dynamo versus San Jose Earthquakes. It's kind of like a history there, right?
Yeah.
Right?
They don't like us.
I
don't think we have hate towards them, but they definitely don't like us.
Yeah. But I guess the big question is, can Houston earn a must win or a must needed win at home? I mean, they need to. They haven't. You take Leagues Cup. I mean, obviously, looking back, I think they lost the last 6 games they played at home. I believe that's when I looked.
No, Philadelphia was a draw.
That's true. So they haven't won in the last 6 games at home. That's what it was. Yeah. So the last time they won was July 18, and don't think I just pulled that out of my brain. I saw that recently, but it was against St. Louis. That's the last time they beat anybody, and really, really need that win here against San Jose. San Jose team that, you look at the table and they're right there with the Dynamo. They're right above. They're the final playing team currently with 32 points. And Houston has 29. So only 3 points separates them. Yeah. However, the Dynamo do have one more game than them. So in reality, it's basically a 6-point game there, and it's a must win, of course. NRC a must win. I know that coaches and Ben in particular always says that he hates the term must win because they believe that they need to win every single game.
He hates a lot of things.
Yeah, I love Ben.
I love him too, but he hates a lot of things.
Yeah, he's one of those. But I mean, you see the team, obviously, Earthquakes started out really well under Bruce Arena. We know how good and, the legendary coach that he is. They've kind of struggled some. They lost against Salt Lake. They did beat Vancouver, which obviously we know about that. And they ended up losing against San Diego last night on Sunday. So they're up and down. Can Houston get a win at home, take advantage of the weather, whatever that is? I mean, I feel at this point, the weather's kind of been taken out altogether. Madeline, doesn't matter what it is. Anybody can come in here and beat the Dynamo, it looks like. Yes, that is very true. I was looking at the weather because earlier in the week it was showing rain.
So I was like, oh, another weather delay. Those California teams bring it. But no, it's not going to be a weather delay. It looks sunny right now. But besides that, it is going to be rough. When they played in San Jose, it was 3-3, right?
Yes, it was 3-3.
And I think Dynamo went up by 2. And then I don't remember. But I remember we had to fight. Or maybe they went up by 2 and Dynamo fought.
Yeah, it was 3-2. Let me see. I'm looking at the score. Dynamo started winning with a goal from Ponce, and then the Dynamo was winning 2-0 by a goal with Andrade. Then it was 3-2, and then Dorsey scored.
Look at that memory. I'm good. I have that memory like that.
Good job.
But yes, I think we'll see goals. I'm hoping for goals because we never see them at home. And I think I put on Twitter, like, I don't even care if Dynamo draw and it's 3-3. They get goals.
Right.
The last time Dynamo won, it was 1 goal. The fans want to see goals. They want to see that entertainment. I know we're not playing for the entertainment or whatever. Someone in the group chat's going to get on to me for that, but I don't care. I think I'm a fan. I'm a fan, and I want the entertainment. I want that orange Texas flag to go up a couple of times. So I hope we get a good goal scoring game, like 3-2 Dynamo. I think Dynamo can get a win. It's a must.
Yeah,
they need.
And talking about that, I mean, you look at the starting 11 here that they use against San Diego that they lost, but I mean, they have firepower, right? Chicho Arango, we know how good he is. We know about Joseph Martinez, and Christian Espinosa is one of my favorite players in MLS. I mean, the guy is it's so good.
That's
I wish
the Dynamo front line. Did they have all of those players when we played them last?
You know what? I think Arango was injured, but I believe Martinez was there, and Espinosa as well. But yes, they Chicho, was definitely injured. I'm looking at it right now. He was out.
And we don't even have that back line, but
and that's what we got to talk about. There is going to be suspensions, right? We don't know about Andrade, if he's going to be ready or not. And Brooklyn being red carded. Now at this point, we've talked a lot about the center back aspect of it. Duenas has been playing. I'm reading Jay Hurtado's. He says,
he has. He had an assist this weekend.
Jeff, I like this comment. Ben's got to listen to his own press conference. I don't think he understands how he sounds sometimes. I think the opportunity that we get to talk to him, I think eventually you kind of realize what he means. And I mean, he's a short fuse, frustrated player coach that honestly I enjoy everything.
I do too. I love it.
Yeah. No matter
he said something at the end of the press conference last night. I don't remember what it was like. We had a draw with Vancouver at home. How many other teams can do that? Yeah. And I love his attitude because he's right.
Yeah, because I think it was about only conceding 1 goal. And he said, go look back and see, and it's true. I mean, Vancouver, every time somebody goes over there, they score at least 3 goals on
yes.
them. So it's a big deal, and that's a mentality, right? Some fans we have to win. We win every game, but reality says the other team is also playing. It's not like you're playing scrubs.
Can I just ask something? All of these fans mad at the draw. How many of them actually had the Dynamo walking away with 3 points? Because my prediction, I had them walking away with 3 points, and I'll stand by that, and I'm happy with the point. But how many people actually thought Dynamo was walking away with points, and they did? Because not a lot of them. They're like, oh, we expect to win. My prediction's 4-1 in Vancouver. Right. I expect to win, and do they not? Do they see it? Yeah. It's like, be happy. There are reasons to be happy. Be happy walking away with the point from Vancouver.
Absolutely. Yeah, obviously we get to do the predictions every game for the Dynamo and for the Dash, and again, I don't want to be purely biased, as obviously that is the team that I like, the Dynamo, but I try to be as realistic as again, and I always say, like, man, I see everything, but I feel that the Dynamo are going to lose this game. I mean, if we probably looked at the numbers, and I know you've messed with that, right? The probability of winning, it was definitely not in Houston's favor, right? So realistically, we're on the right side. But granted, football is football, soccer is soccer. You really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, I'm being realistic. Realistically, did you think Dynamo was going to walk away with 3 points versus San Diego? No. Right. So you can't be real. Like it's soccer. Every game can go any way. If you're a
Yeah.
fan, like media is different. Like you guys can have like your realistic look at the stats, all of that stuff. But as a fan, you should walk in thinking Dynamo are going to get 3 points.
Yep.
And if
Yeah.
they don't, be happy with the point. But they are happy. They want to predict a loss, and they get mad that Dynamo walk away with a point.
Yeah. And the opposite too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because you're so set, oh, they're gonna beat this team. They're just, their history says that this is a winnable game. And it's like every season is different. Every team is different. I mean, Vancouver for the longest time was one of the worst teams in MLS, and that's changed the last 2-3 years. So
Jeff is right here.
Yeah, keep in mind, most MLS fandoms assume playing the Dynamo is an automatic win. Every time the Dynamo take points for a team, it actually hurts them. It's absolutely true. I mean, Houston as a whole, I know you're new to Houston, Madeline, but everybody somehow just hates Houston so much. So
Dynamo's biggest fans are actually their biggest haters. I've said it time and time, and I will stand 10 toes down on it because they say they're the biggest fans, and then they hate every player on the team and hate the coach and hate everything about the team. They just like the name.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many of those accounts, right? No matter who the coach is, you get like the Ben Sucks account, or fire Ben Olsen, or fire Paula Nagamura, or Tal Ramos out.
Yeah,
and it's just they don't even give the opportunities for. And I've always said this, right? Because take it for example, whenever Ben Olsen was hired, I was not the biggest fan. I was kind of. My fan side wanted for a whole new thing, right? Not an MLS coach, bring somebody kind of known outside from a bigger team that is the Dynamo. That was my mentality. But I've always said I can't just sit here and be negative from the beginning when the coach is barely going. Let them, and that goes for coaches, for players, for general managers. Let them show you who they really are, and trust them when they show you who they really are, and give them opportunity. But let's finish with this. When it comes to we'll run it for 10 more minutes, hopefully less. But when it comes to this game against San Jose, go ahead and do prediction. You're thinking the Dynamo will get a win?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
I
so
hope
too.
so. I think I'm gonna say Dynamo win by a goal. I don't know if it'll be 3-2. I don't know if it'll be 2-1. I don't know if it'll be 1-0. But I think they win by, well, obviously they're not going to win by like 4 goals. They're going to win by a goal. And they might even go down and have to come back. I don't know, but they're going to win. I think the win's happening.
Yeah, I think we know that San Jose can put a lot of goals. Just because of the firepower that they have, and the last match against the Dynamo you mentioned being a 3-3 draw. So I expect goals. Now you really need to kind of lock in that defensive side of stuff. We know how good Jonathan Bond has been. I mean, that dude is legit, but he can't do it by himself.
He can't.
So I'm gonna classic 2-1 win for the Dynamo. I agree with NRC. That's gonna be my prediction as well. 2-1 Dynamo. I believe they can get this win, and they really, really need it just because they've played very good the last 2-3 matches, but they just haven't been able, right, to get this point. So they really need the 3 points. I still believe that with the amount of games that are left, they can make that push for the playoffs because, I mean, you look at who they've played and tying against Austin, tying against Vancouver, teams that are in playoffs are pushing for a playoff as well. So it's not easy. And we've talked about who they, obviously they got San Jose, they got St. Louis City, Colorado, Portland, Nashville, San Diego, Sporting Kansas City. Very, very, very tough matches.
LA too in there, right?
Oh yes, Galaxy. You're right. It'd be September 6th. So that'd be here around the corner as well. But okay, to finish it off, we do have transfer window. All right, it closes this Thursday, so I just bring it up because there hasn't necessarily been a lot during this transfer window. If you are watching this live, I have a slide here with the players that have been out, and obviously this goes all the way since November. Players that left the team, and then players that have come in, and same thing has been, from re-signing to, basically since December. As far as players that have come in during this summer transfer window, it's only been Antonio Carlos. This ending on Thursday, August 21st. Madeline, we're talking about this. Not a lot of news except for another center back possibly coming to the Dynamo. It looks like Marlowe, what did Chris call him? The Fabricio Romano from South America, from Argentina.
Yes.
It's saying that it's legit. They're getting him on, what's the guy's name? Let me see.
Wait, there was someone from Croatia, from the Dynamo, the other.
Oh,
Dynamo
yes,
team.
Dynamo 2, Thomas Weiner. Yeah, you're right.
No, there's another one.
Oh, there's another guy?
There.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, it was in, I don't know if it's true or not, but there's a rumor of another guy coming from there.
Yeah, and I'm trying to freak. David was the one that sent. Actually, David was the one that called him a Fabrizio Romano from Argentina. So they're talking about Alan Saldivia, center back, guys from Uruguay, 23-year-old, plays in Chile for Colo Colo. So he has cap for the U23, I believe, for Uruguay. So it looks like they're still trying to patch up whatever problems the center back is giving them, and it's actually refreshing. I know maybe people are going to be negative and say, "Oh, another center back," but I really think that they see that the other pieces that they have, apart from like maybe a number 10 or a flashy player, they have what they need. It's just they are not happy with probably what Pablo Ortiz is doing, Barlow, the list goes on. So I think they do believe in what they have when it comes to the rest of the team and center backs. God, man, you need you need a plug, man. Stop the damage there.
Yes. Okay, it's a forward. His name is Juan Cordoba.
Okay.
There's a rumor of him coming. But he's scored 1 goal in 11 appearances.
Juan Cordova.
He's from Colombia.
Okay.
And has 7 appearances and 1 goal for Colombia under 20.
Okay, so yeah, I at this point, let's see what.
But that looks more. They said it would take a 22, an under 22 roster spot.
Yeah, and there's another one
that
out
looks
there.
More like a Dynamo 2 signing. Honestly, I don't know that should be a first team signing.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, so those are so far the rumors out there. So I just want to keep it on the loop for everybody listening, because with the transfer window closing here this week, obviously the Dynamo, if they really are pushing to try to get into the playoffs, and we'll hear something on it. Sucks. The fact that sucks here is that any international that you pick up, you're at least going to be without it for about a month or so. So by then, does it really matter, when it comes to the push? And you also see it on the other fact, which American can you get, or which guy that you can plug and play right away or trade from a different club. That would be difficult as well. Player, I'm Rook. It's good to see you. I hadn't seen you on here, and as well as but I get this question a lot, Madeline, about Nelson Quiñones, and it's the same thing over and over. Unfortunately for Quiñones, he just keeps hitting setback after setback, and he had a really bad injury, very gruesome injury. When it happened, I know you weren't a part of the group here, but I'm sure you heard it as well. Yeah, it's like chances for him playing again and being the Quiñones that we knew. And even then, he struggled, right? He was hit or miss a lot of games, but it was the fact of like, can he come back? Can he even play? And Quiñones, with so many setbacks, and I believe his option is coming as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So, man, it may be the last of Nelson Quiñones we saw with the Dynamo, which is unfortunate. But at this rate, they continue to bring, players to take over his position. So it's sad. Again, you never wish that to happen for any player. And yeah, I mean, the time with him, and people continue asking him, and that's another thing, right? Because he was really, really good before he got hurt. And so that's what people think of, right? You think of
Yeah.
and it was even like he had like a probably like a 6 month slump before he was good for a couple games, and then he got hurt.
Yeah.
And now you go back, and you just don't understand, like, if it's gonna happen, huh?
And I mean, going with like, will he even be the same player?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's the guy that they're talking about.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
Yep.
Will he be the same player? I think the same goes for Svianchenko. If
Yes.
Svianchenko can get back, can get healthy, can get to a full 90 again, will he be the same player? Because he came back, he got injured, he came back, and then he's out again.
Yeah.
Is that going to continue to be the cycle? Because if that's going to continue to be the cycle, he's still, he was a great captain, a great leader on the team, but we can't, like, they might have to move on from Eric. And I love Eric, and I hate saying that, but it's just what it is, really.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, the only thing, Eric at least has a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, just because his contract, we have, like, the Dynamo have him for next year as well.
Yeah.
So he'll get that opportunity, but clearly they're trying to do whatever they can for another guy to step in because of his age and his injury history. And Dago mentions Madeline. The Dynamo was trying to sign Juan Cordova last year, but failed. He now has Champions League experience. I think he would be a great addition. Again, it'd be a matter of time. Thursday will be here around really, really quick. Jeff says, I have the same concerns about Eric.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not crazy.
No, and you're not the only one.
That.
Because
Okay.
before, right when Eric was rumored to come to the Dynamo, our sources told us that it was they had a lot of, like, he was a great player, great leader, like everything we knew, but he was dealing with a lot of injuries and back-to-back injuries. And lucky for him, he wasn't injured for like 2 years with the Dynamo, and everything was working out. But now you're starting to see what people really had concerns over, which was just those lingering injuries. And it's
I think he had an interesting quote, and I can't remember if he said in person to me or if he said it on an actual interview. But he said something along the lines of, like, I didn't take care of myself how I should have in preseason. It was my mistake.
Yeah, that was an interview, and he said it to us. Yep.
And I thought, like, that's an interesting quote. I think that needs to be looked into. I want to know what did he do in preseason?
But if I remember correctly, it was because he was doing the green card stuff, and so he was saying that it was a lot of just basically sitting in a hotel, and because of that, it just not kept the same routine of, like, doing everything you need to do. And yes, but you're right. He said it to us, so that's a good shout out, man. So if you ever catch us on YouTube,
there you go. That means I'm listening to the interviews. Exactly.
Yeah, you get a lot, and we do it for people like like Madeline, for fans that want to keep up with everything with the Dynamo. We try to ask as many questions that we can in the amount that they have time for us. So, but yeah, good shout out there. All right, Madeline. We're going to go ahead and finish here with Dynamo 2 really, really fast. Thank you once again for your time and for joining us. You know that you're always welcome to the show. But Houston Dynamo 2 started off the Sunday triple header when it comes to Houston soccer with a big win on the road, 3-1 against Sporting Kansas City 2. Now they'll be playing on Friday against the Town FC, which, if people don't know, the Town FC is the academy team or the MLS Next Pro team for LA Galaxy. So they'll be playing at SaberCat Stadium. Tickets are free. If you've never been to one of these games, Madeline, have you been to one of these games yet? No. I enjoy going to these games more than Dynamo, and maybe because I just don't suffer, right? Like, sometimes you get in your head, you start getting in the fandom in you, and you start suffering with the team. But in this case, it still has that pure feel to it, Yeah. Players, there's obviously young players playing for the badge, playing for the city, and it's a great place. It's a small little venue, feels very intimate, and if you are a Dynamo fan out there and have never gone, I highly suggest, because you can take your whole family, take your cousins, take everybody that you can. But usually you get lucky enough that the first team players and even the dash players are out there, and they don't mind you asking. You don't mind. They don't really mind if you go ask for a picture or autograph. I see that happening all the time, and it's good, because they're out there showing themselves. And yeah, Jay Hurtado mentions about Dueñas. Yeah, Dueñas. I I don't want to say too much, but Dueñas has been playing with Dynamo too, because obviously the limited minutes he's been playing, limited being kind, right? Because he hasn't really played much with the Dynamo, but he's been wanting to play more with Dynamo too for that reason, just because he's able to play more minutes and kind of
I thought it was going to take long, or I thought they were going to drop him there sooner than they did. They didn't take him over to Dynamo 2 as fast as I thought they would, because he's been there since February, and he only started this summer going over there. Maybe they thought he was going to be a starter, but I didn't. The signing, even if you watched him with LAFC, he played a lot with LAFC too.
Yes. Yeah, and I think he's a quality player. He's still a young player, but yeah, he wasn't gonna be a plug-in right away, and it's taking him some time to adjust, I believe. And yeah, because you're right about that, because the only other players has been playing more minutes as well recently, because there hasn't been that many guys that have gone from the first team to Dynamo 2. But Michael Holiday has been playing a lot of minutes there as well, and that's another guy that he looks like he won't probably be back for a year or two. I think Dueñas has a better shot, just because, again, he's a younger guy as well, and I think he if they find a good role, granted he can play many roles, but if they can find something that he can be good at,
he did good. They subbed him in for the San Diego game, and I just remember they marked him with like some super tall player. I don't remember who it was, and he like crawled on the ground and like was able to like use his height to his advantage for the last 15 minutes, and I loved it. Obviously, he wasn't playing 90, but for those 15 minutes, he's a scrappy little player. Like, he uses his height to his advantage, and I like it.
That's fun.
But not first team. But yeah, I wish someone would have. I think I tried to video it, and I like went back in the live game, which takes a lot for me to do,
right?
And just see him on the ground crawling around with the ball, and I was like, "Okay, Eric." But yeah, that was a funny Eric story.
Yeah. Well, Madeline, again, thank you once again for joining us. You are more than welcome to join us anytime you want, as I've always said. Everybody on our Bayou City Soccer group, granted, we have a lot of photographers. We have a lot of people that don't like to be in front of the mics, but they're always welcome to join us for sure and get a different perspective as we cover the Houston Dynamo in this case. But want to give a quick shout out before any words that you may have, but quick shout out to the other podcasts on this feed. You get Orange and Blueprints with Manny Olivares and Diego Martinez, who do a really good job. I know they had a really good episode last week, which obviously, because I was out, did not make it into the website. But if you go into the YouTube page and go to live, you'll find it there, as well as Movimiento Naranja. David did a good job as well, doing a recap and a preview for the Houston Dynamo from last week. So we'll be back. The guys will Orange and Blueprint will be back on Wednesday. Movimiento Naranja will be here on Thursday. And again, a reminder, we will be live streaming on Monday. The plan is to start the stream somewhere around 6 p.m. And I know that's early for everybody that is in here. Usually you guys are, waiting for us at 9 p.m. But I'm giving you a heads up. We will be starting around 6. If you are in Houston, make it out there. Let's talk. Let's if you guys want to. I was gonna say, if you want to talk crap, feel free. We're there for everything. But no, and again, we're hoping that we can get a Houston Dynamo Football Club personality out there. They are busy. They do have a busy schedule, but that's just the soonest time we had open for a live stream at We Got Soccer, we want to take advantage of it. So hopefully you come out there. I'll be there. Christian will be there. Madeline will probably be there. And so come hang out, and if you gotta buy some merch for your team, if you're there, Madeline, you gotta buy that Man City kit.
Yeah.
Get it there while you're there. We do have to do another skid video. I don't know if you got to see that one.
I don't think I did.
But you may have to. Those were great. Those were fantastic. But Madeline, anything you want to add? Anything that you want to tell the people?
Just if you guys see me in the stadium and you want to answer a question, please come. Even if you see me and you don't want to be on camera, you don't want to answer a question, come and talk to me. Or if you want to answer a question, please do, because we need people. We need to hear from you guys. And I got a mic, and we'll give you a platform.
Yeah. Jeff is telling you the video's hilarious, so we're gonna have to look it up, and I'll show it to you. My favorite one. Oh yeah, the coach one was the best one because we used some of those references too. Have you ever coached in Seattle type of thing? Great thing, Madeline, that you mentioned. Yeah, go look for her. She does not bite. I met her. She's really nice, and she has stickers as well. So if you don't want to be on camera, she'll hook you up with stickers from Bayou City Soccer. And of course, man, we appreciate your support. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jay Hurtado. I try to mention everybody talks to Dago's a cool guy. I met that guy in person as well. Everybody that comments, I mean, we've had over like 150 people come in and out, so that's good. And again, everything that we try to give you as much information as we can. Sometimes we're pumping way too much information. I'm like, oh my God, I can't keep up, right? But there's time for everything. I listen to podcasts when I cut the grass, which is every 2 weeks. And I just sit there and listen to like 5 podcasts all at once to try to catch up. And I used to listen to our show, like as soon as I dropped it, I'm listening to it, to give myself some feedback per se. But now I don't even listen to my show. Like I try, it bothers me now. Like but I do.
I had a fan of you come up to me the other day. I was at Glenn Davis and they came up to me. They were like, "Where's Rudy?" And I was like, "I don't know where Rudy is." So
that's awesome.
That was funny. And they were like, "Oh yeah, we watched you on the podcast yesterday, whatever." But yeah, I thought that was fun. I forgot to tell you that.
Yeah, I think I know you. I think I know who you're referring to, because I saw, and I can't think of the guy's name, and he's such a cool guy. I see him. I run into him pretty often with him and his family. But on a picture that Glenn took, I saw him, and so I'm assuming it's probably him. So shout out to you, friend. That I can't remember your name, and I am totally sorry because I want to say Jared, but it's probably not Jared. So we won't. Shout out to him. And yeah, Dago, I met Dago. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to the show this week. We can't wait to come back on Monday again, 6 p.m. So if you're looking for us at 9, you may have to go back and hit the like button and see what happened at 6 p.m. But we highly encourage that you listen to us. I know it's going to be streaming, like I mentioned, obviously on X and on YouTube. If you're driving, it'd be a great time. Please just don't watch the video as you're driving. Just listen to it. But we would love to see you back next week. But don't forget. Well, actually, give me a quick second. Because I just noticed this video is wrong. But don't forget to hold it down and keep it forever orange.